Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good day. My name is DrBoyceWatkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. I want to talk about the stock market and a major risk factor that exists in the stock market and in stock market investing that a lot of investors haven't really factored in completely. I think that there's more conversation about this that isn't happening yet. And I thought that I would start the new year by talking to you about some things that could really threaten uh, the value of your investments in 2021. As I always told you guys, what goes up can come down, and you always have to be aware of that. So we're about to get started on the Black Financial Channel. Hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor, and I want to talk about the stock market and a couple of hidden factors that you may or may not have thought about when it comes to the stock market. And it all actually goes down in Georgia. Georgia is having a runoff for the Senate that could have huge implications on the stock market. And what I'd like to do is kind of talk to you about your stock market investments and what you might look for in terms of how to sort of respond to what's happening, particularly down in Georgia, and how this might affect the political disposition of the entire country. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you are a stock market investor. I want everybody to invest. If you're not an investor, I encourage you to jump in because that's the only way people are actually getting real wealth in this country. If you haven't gotten started, there's a free training on stock market investing at firstsharestock.com. There's an offer to join one of our mini programs for $29 or something, which is 90% off the regular price. But if you don't want to take the offer, that's fine. You can actually go there for free and get free information from the Black Business School. So no matter what your budget is, no matter how tight your money is, we can show you how to get started investing in the stock market at firstsharestock.com. There's a free training that will get you going so that you can make this thing work for you. So feel free to go to the URL. Now, here's the deal. The stock market is doing really well this year. 2020 was just a beautiful year. It was full of tragedy, full of problems, full of challenges. But if you're an investor, you probably made a lot of money. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you made a ton of money. Type yes in the chat because there are a lot of people who don't believe this. They think that it's nonsense or this is only for rich people. But there are a lot of you who actually started the year off with less money than you have right now. And so for that reason, 2020 was a beautiful year. Now, here's the darker side of that. I always talk about New Edition's song "Can You Stand the Rain," and one of the members of New Edition, he's actually in the Black Business School, and we had a conversation, and so he knows that sometimes I'll make little references like "Never trust a big button to smile" or "Can you stand the rain," and we kind of laughed about that. But and at some point, hopefully, I can get him on the podcast where we can have a deeper conversation about economics of entertainment. But anyway, the thing about it is, I always ask you guys, can you stand the rain? Because this year, you were misled a little bit by the market. This year, a lot of money was made in the stock market, and every year isn't like this. And I don't want you to get too comfortable with that. Just like with Bitcoin, Bitcoin went up 300% this year, but you've also seen where it's plummeted by 80, 70, 80% at a time. So you have to kind of be ready for that. So let me talk about some factors going on with the market that might make a difference for you. I'm going to switch screens on my phone. I'm in Mexico, so I'm talking on my cell phone through a funny internet connection. So let me know. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Give me a yes or no if you can hear me, so that way I know that I'm coming through okay. So the Georgia runoff in the election for the U.S. Senate, that's going to be big for the stock market. I'm going to read here on an article on I think it's called marketplace.com. They said the runoff elections for 2 U.S. Senate seats in Georgia next Tuesday have the potential to inject volatility into a high-flying stock market that has mostly looked past political turbulence in Washington this year. Market participants say any complacency among investors could be misplaced, since if the Democrats win both Senate seats, then the incoming administration of President-elect Joe Biden would have control of both chambers of commerce, or excuse me, of Congress. I think commerce was a Freudian slip because our Congress is pretty much the Chamber of Commerce now. They're not, they're not political representatives. They're actually, they actually work for the corporations. So maybe that was a Freudian slip. But they said any complacency among investors could be misplaced, since if the Democrats win both Senate seats, then the incoming administration of President Joe Biden would have control of both chambers of Congress and may move to reverse, pay attention, may move to reverse corporate tax cuts of 2017, putting company earnings and stock prices under some pressure. Now, let me explain what's going on with that. Basically, Donald Trump, like him or hate him, the guy is very business friendly. The guy believes corporations should pay lower in taxes. This comes from Reaganomics. This is that old trickle down economic theory, which, by the way, doesn't work. By the way, it doesn't work. I'm a guy who believes that too much inequality is going to hurt America, and right now we have more inequality than we've had in about almost 100 years. So if you want to know where I stand personally on this, I personally wouldn't have a problem with the Democrats gaining the reins of the government for long enough to reverse some of the egregious inequality that's been pushed forward by the Republicans. Some of the things the Republicans have done that have added to the inequality in America is they have undermined labor unions for the last 40 years. We need labor unions so that people can collaborate their human capital and actually have a chance to negotiate against the robber barons of the world, like the Jeff Bezoses, who are worth over $100 billion bucks. The Republicans also have reduced corporate tax rates to ridiculously low amounts, to the point where the taxes in America are not being paid by the corporations. They're not being paid by the wealthy. The taxes in America are being paid by the middle class and being paid by the people who can least afford it. When you get your check, let me ask you, I don't know if anybody here has a job or has had a job. When you got your check, did they take taxes out of your check? Did they give me a yes or no? If you know that pain in your stomach that comes when you see how much money they take out of your check for taxes. Give me a yes or no if you know what I'm talking about. That pain that you feel where you look and you see how much you had before taxes and how much you had after taxes. It's like that meme where your check before taxes is the fat dog and your check after taxes is the skinny dog. Well, give me a yes. Give me a yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Well, that's where America's taxes are being paid. And the problem is that you've got people who say, you know, I'm rich and I want to benefit from this government, but I don't want to contribute to the maintenance of this government. So they use their power to get corporate tax rates at an unbelievably low level. They use the government to get capital gains tax rates at ridiculously low levels. That's why I tell you that every black family should have a family business, because people that understand some of the rules can write off almost their entire lifestyle. And so I think some of that needs to be reversed, not just for the good of the middle class and working class, but really for the good of this country. It's not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Even if you are a rich guy who makes $1 million a year and you want to minimize your tax bill, well, if you don't, if your country doesn't get a little bit better at minimizing inequality, then you're not going to be rich for long, because eventually the poor people are going to kill you and take all your stuff, right? So with that being said, right now, Georgia holds the balance of power. And if Georgia pushes through their legislation, so not their legislation, I'm sorry, if they push through their Democratic senators, then you're going to find that the Democratic Party will be able to push the country to the left. Pushing the country to the left will mean higher corporate tax rates, most likely, because they're probably going to reverse a lot of the things that Donald Trump did. But it also, here's the thing, it's not all bad news, though. Here's where it gets interesting. So on one hand, higher corporate tax rates means lower corporate profits, which is going to hit your stock prices immediately. You're going to see a drop in your stock prices if you factor in only the impact of higher corporate taxes on corporate profits. There's no way around that. There's no way to do the math differently, right? Because they're having to share the wealth. But here's the upside. Here's the interesting upside that can make it a mixed bag. If the Democrats get into power, which party, Democrat or Republican, which party do you think is going to support the bigger stimulus package? The Democrats, who are in many cases accused of believing in socialism, and because some of them are socialists. I don't think socialism is a bad word. I think some of the socialist ideas are actually very good ideas. Some things need to be socialist, like healthcare. I think should be socialist, because you should not be trading profits for human life. I don't believe a person should die because they can't afford their medication. I don't believe people should starve to death because they can't afford to buy groceries. So socialism. So you know the socialists are going to push forward a gigantic stimulus package. The Republicans are the people that don't even want to give you the $600 that they gave you. So who do you think is going to have the bigger stimulus package? The Democrats, who are accused of being socialists, or the Republicans, who don't want to give you $600 and damn sure don't want to give you $2,000? Right now, Mitch McConnell is blocking the $2,000 payments all by himself. I really wonder if somebody's going to roll up on this dude and do some harm to him. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't wish harm on anybody, but he needs extra security right now because his decision to block the ability to increase those payments to 2,000 as opposed to 600 is literally causing people to get evicted this month, and it breaks my heart. It makes me very sad. And it's also the reason why I think you got to do what's best for yourself. This government does not care about you. So that's me imposing a little bit of Uncle Boyce in there. I know I'm Dr. Boyce, but I'm also Uncle Boyce. I cannot give you financial analysis without also giving you my humanity. And my humanity says, go make your money. Let's all go be wealthy, but let's also do the right thing for our community and do the right thing for the world. So with that being said, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done it yet, please do that. And also, in case you're curious, we do have something in the Black Business School. Anybody who ever wants to send me financial questions and you want me to guarantee that I'll answer your question, we actually have a program for that in the Black Business School called Ask Dr. Boyce. Now, if you're in the Black Stock Market program, you don't have to sign up because you get free access. But if you just want to sign up for that, you can. So feel free to go to AskDrBoyce.com. What I do is I let you email me your question. I guarantee you that within 1 week, I will answer your question in a video, use your name and everything else. So feel free to go to AskDrBoyce.com. So let me give you some more thoughts on this. So you have two competing points here. If the Democrats take power, as they might in Georgia, it's kind of a mixed bag. On one hand, some polls say that the two Republican senators are winning, but Real Clear Politics actually says that the two Democrats have a slight lead. Nobody knows how Georgia's going to turn out. But if Georgia turns out Democratic, then that's going to shift the balance of power for the entire country. It's not just going to mean higher corporate taxes. It's also going to mean a big, fat, gigantic, monumental, insanely large stimulus package, which, because rich people know how to get their money first, they know how to eat the big piece of chicken before everybody else eats. They always know how to get their money. Corporations will benefit from that. Corporations will benefit from that. And that's why I tell you that it's so important for you to teach your children about wealth and economics and how money is made, because people that know how to make money know how to get paid no matter what the environment is. They know how, so if anybody doesn't have any money, you should probably just ask them, well, how much time did you spend learning how to acquire money? If you spent time learning how to acquire money, then you're probably going to have it. Do you understand? Just like a guy who spends all his time learning how to acquire girlfriends, he's going to have the most dates on a Saturday night. He's going to have the most women to call in his Rolodex, right? You have to spend time learning the things that you want to be good at. So the corporations are good at making money. Stock prices will go up if there's a massive stimulus package passed by the Democrats. Here's another competing issue, though, a long-term problem. The value of the dollar sank this year for the first time in 3 years. The value of the dollar is one of those things that's becoming very, very sketchy. The value of the dollar is being impacted beyond, and this is beyond what's going on in the stock market, but the value of the dollar cannot maintain itself when you have a government that is dealing with a crisis by simply printing money. You cannot maintain yourself by just going deeper and deeper in debt. A government with an unsustainable amount of debt, which I think $27 trillion in debt qualifies as being unsustainable, cannot maintain the value of its currency. So it would not surprise me if at any point the value of the dollar just kind of disappears. China's major economic move during this crisis was to basically undermine the dominance of America in the global economic system. And one of the aspects of that dominance that they want to challenge is the use of the dollar as a consistent form of global currency. They're basically saying, why should the dollar be your top choice? We have currency too. And I think at some point that's going to happen. I think other currencies are going to jump in the game in a more aggressive way, and that's going to deflate the value of the dollar. So it doesn't mean you panic, doesn't mean you go jump off a bridge because the world's coming to an end, doesn't mean you just avoid all investing because the whole economic system's going to collapse. I know you got your conspiracy theorists out here that write books like that, and I'm not into that stuff. I'm into adjusting. I'm into pivoting. So if I were to pivot, I would say that there is some credibility lent to diversification. That means looking at some Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been a hell of an investment. I think Bitcoin hit 29,000 on New Year's Eve. It was as low as 8,000, 7,000 just a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. Bitcoin has made a ton of money for some of you. Maybe that means looking at gold and silver. Maybe that means some international currency. Some of the Forex investors are in here. But you got to really kind of be prepared for that, because I don't think the United States is making good decisions for its long-term economic and political future. I believe your politicians are a bunch of dummies. They make a bunch of selfish, horrible decisions, and they're basically allowing wealthy people to gut the government at the expense of our society. That's probably more Uncle Boyce than Dr. Boyce, but Dr. Boyce consulted with Uncle Boyce and told him what to say. So I hope you know the difference. If you don't know the difference between Dr. Boyce and Uncle Boyce, one day if we have a conversation, I'll tell you about it. But anyway, I'm going to go. Just a reminder, I am also on this app called Parler, which I really like. Parler is really kind of a place where they give like freedom of speech. It was created by conservatives, but I don't really care. I just like being able to say what I want to say. So if you want to follow me on the Parler app, look for Dr. Boyce Watkins, or Clubhouse. On Clubhouse, we're going to start having some private conversations on Clubhouse. You can follow me at Dr. Boyce Watkins on Clubhouse or Parler. And of course, last but not least, we got the Black Wealth Bootcamp that starts on January 7th. If you'd like to participate, feel free to go to blackwealthbootcamp.com. It's 6 weeks long. It's very popular. Everybody loves it. And there's a money back guarantee if you're not happy for any reason whatsoever. So I hope this helps you. If you could hit the thumbs up button, please share this video for those who like intelligent Black conversations. We are building intelligent Black media. We now have over 1 million subscribers on all of our channels combined. This is because we want to give out an authentically Black message that reflects core values of the Black community. Black people should be educating our own children. We should be creating our own jobs. We should be supporting Black businesses. That's what we believe in. We also believe in the Black family, strengthening the Black family. If you agree with those views, I hope that you'll help us distribute the content by sharing it on your social media right now, hitting the notification bell right now, making sure you subscribe right now, because we're going to be here and we're in this with both feet every single day of the week, because we want to see Black people get smarter, better, stronger, more capable. So Happy New Year. 2021 is your year. Go get it. Go get paid. Put your hashtag B1 in the chat. I'm out. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Please have a great day. God bless you. Peace.